Hey guys, Xephina here, and you guys are just getting all kinds of videos from me just because certain things keep happening in my life. Once again, I apologize for any background noise. My mother is babysitting a 2-year-old, and they're in the other room, so if you hear any background noise, it's probably her. That being said, I submitted a story to a channel called MinuteVideos, and I'll put their link at the end of the video. But they took my story, and basically what MinuteVideos does is they'll take a story that you submit and they'll put it to an animation. And they took one of mine and animated it. And it's absolutely amazing, and I kind of wanted to do a bit of a reaction to it. So that being said, let's get on with it.
Every Christmas I've ever had in my life has been special, but the Christmas of 2015 was especially so. Why? That Christmas, I received a gift from a friend that was so unbelievably wonderful, it still brings joy into my life every single day. Let me tell you my story.
Alright, so I know that this is really early on to begin pausing, but let me give a little bit of an explanation as to why Christmases are so special to me. I personally have always spent Christmas with my family. Even when we lived in Georgia, we would always come up to North Carolina to visit with my family, and I have a large family. My mother has 4 brothers and sisters, and so it's always this massive thing. And so because there are so many of us, what we'll do is we'll have our family celebration, like with all of us, on Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, we'll split off into our individual families and do our own thing then. So Christmas Eve is always a big thing for me, but Christmas Day is what I spend with my smaller family. So now that you know kind of why Christmas is so special to me, I'll let the video continue.
I work a part-time job in a store. The day before that Christmas Eve, I was working. At the end of my shift, I was getting changed when I noticed that there was a text message on my cell from my best buddy. In it, he asked if I'd be home the next day so we could exchange our Christmas gifts with each other. This was unusual, as we would normally exchange our gifts at the church that we both attended after the Christmas service, and each opened ours once we were back at our homes.
Alright, that's another thing. It says that I work just a job, and it puts me kind of in a cubicle type thing, but I worked at JCPenney. And the JCPenney that I worked at was in the middle of a mall. Literally, to get from one side of the mall to the other, you had to walk through this store, so it was constantly busy as could be. And of course, I was working the holidays, and so it was even more so. It was just hectic as could be. I love how the phone in the shot says that I got off at 6:30. I wish. It was the day before Christmas Eve. I wish I got off that early. No, I closed that night. I was there till 9 or 10. So, yeah, that was fun. By the way, at the time of this story taking place, I was 16. I'll be 20 in June.
I texted him back telling him it wasn't possible, as I would be working a shift from 8 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon, and then out with family. He sent a message right back, asking if he could come round my house and swap gifts at 7. Before I went to work, so he could be there when I opened it. Odd!
This is
what was
true.
so important that he had to give me my gift early? What was so special about it that he wanted to be there when I opened it? Nevertheless, I said it was okay.
I love how I have 244 messages.
Like an idiot, I forgot to set my alarm so I'd be up when he called at 7. So I was in a funk when the doorbell sounded at 7. I scrambled downstairs, still half asleep, but determined to get to the door, before my mom started complaining about the early call from my friend.
Yeah, so I, being the person of infinite wisdom that I am, I really did actually forget to set my alarm an hour early. Again, it was the holidays, I was stressed, it was hectic. First of all, I don't have 2 stories to my house. That would be awesome, but I don't. And I don't wear glasses, but the glasses thing is the only thing that they really got wrong about my appearance. Of course, another thing about MinuteVideos is you don't submit like what any of the characters look like. You just kind of go with it. and they animate how they think you look. And so really they got me pretty spot on, minus the glasses. So really that's pretty spot on. My friend, however, not so much, but I don't really care because, as you're going to see, there's a reason I like the way that they designed my friend.
When I opened the door, my buddy had a smile on his face so broad, I thought his head would crack. We chatted for a few moments on the doorstep, but he seemed so full of excitement that I invited him inside and we went straight up to my room. He hardly seemed interested in my gift for him, saying he'd open it later. Instead, he insisted I open his right there and then. I looked at him curiously. If anything, his grin was even more broad. He looked like he was about to burst with excitement.
Yeah, so as many of you can see, he looks like Patton in this. My actual friend is a brunette. He is taller than me. And I can see him wearing something like that. But, yeah, so they made my friend look like Patton, and I am A-okay with that. But yeah, he really was, he didn't even care about the fact that I had a gift for him. He was so excited to give me my gift. And of course, you're going to see why that is in the video. And this gift actually does mean a hell of a lot to me.
What was so special? I took the box from him and carefully unwrapped it. I looked at the contents. Yeah, great stuff, but nothing that seemed that special. However,
True.
a few minutes later, and I would know that I had been given the greatest gift of all. It was so great that when I went to work at 8 to start my shift, I couldn't even remember the journey. I must have been floating on air all the way.
I really was.
The store that day was full of frustrated customers in a fuddle because they had left their shopping too late and had no idea what gifts they wanted. It didn't matter to me.
Yep.
They were all great as far as I was concerned. Nothing was going to spoil my mood that day. In fact, I was so patient and happy that customers started to notice. A few even sought out the store manager and commented how cheery and helpful I had been. At the end of the shift, my manager told me that I had so many compliments about me that there would be a bonus in my pay that month. If it was even possible, my great mood got even better. That's not how...
So yeah, sorry about the car going by. Yeah, that is accurate. The job that I worked at, they would give you a bonus. I believe if you got 3 recommendations, like 3 people went to the manager in 1 week. I got 5 in 1 day on Christmas Eve, which is unheard of. Because if any of you held your shopping off to the last minute and gone out shopping on Christmas Eve, you know that customers and sales associates alike are not in a good mood. No one wants to be out on Christmas Eve. But the gift that I had gotten had touched me so much that I was like, nah, I am not going to be in a bad mood for this. To the point that I even was sitting there, or not sitting, I was standing behind the register, and the registers we had were super slow. And so I would be standing there behind the register and just kind of dancing while I was waiting for the register to load. And people were just like grinning at me. And I remember thinking that was odd because it's like, it's Christmas Eve. Why are you smiling? Everyone hates being out shopping on Christmas Eve. But I figured it out when my manager came to me after my shift and said, hey, by the way, you got a bonus. I'm like, yes! So, truly a gift they kept on giving.
Oh, I always was. Walking on air, full of joy. To be honest, all my life I've struggled with severe depression and anxiety. Also,
True.
It's been tough sometimes. Like when my dad died and when I nearly lost my own life. But now when things don't go so well, I think of that gift, and it gives me the strength to take on whatever life throws at me.
So, yeah, this part of the story got a little bit heavy, and but it is true. After this Christmas, so this was the Christmas of 2015, in 2016, I would lose my father to his years-long battle with COPD and emphysema in April of 2016, and then in April of 2017, almost a year to the date after my father's passing, I attempted to take my own life. Thank any power that may be that I didn't succeed. But yeah, the years following this Christmas were very hard for me. Things have thankfully gotten better. I've gotten the help I needed and stuff of that nature. But it was very hard, and a little bit to preface what's coming next, the attempt on my life that happened about a year and a half after I got this gift, it was this gift that stopped me. It was this gift that saved my life. Because, I can't really say much else without giving away what it is. But the gift itself was what brought me back to reality and made me realize what I was doing, and that I needed to get the help, and that I was strong enough to fight the battle that I was taking part in with myself at that point. So, yeah, I know the story got a little heavy right there, but it is true, and thankfully things have gotten better since then.
So, what was this special gift? Before I
What
say,
is it?
let me tell you about one of the gifts in that box. It wasn't the main one. It was a t-shirt with the name of my favorite band ever on it, Approaching Nirvana. Another gift in that box was a CD. On this was 15 of my most favorite tracks by the band. My buddy and
Yeah, so the 15 favorite tracks, I'll get back to that one in a second, but my favorite band is Approaching Nirvana. Everyone seems to forget that first word, approaching, and just thinks it's Nirvana. No, it's Approaching Nirvana, which if you're kind of a long-time fan of my channel or you've seen some more of my stuff, you'll have heard some of their music. If you watch any of my speed paints, I generally use their music in the background of my speed paints. I actually did a whole Sanderside's character themes with their songs. So, yeah, they're my favorite band. I've been a fan of them since September of 2012, which was... I became a fan of theirs the day they dropped their Evolve album. And so I've been a fan of them ever since then. And I pre-order all their new album releases. I'm the first one, oh my gosh, I love Approaching Nirvana. I own every one of their songs and everything. It's amazing. I've got so much of their merch. I've painted multiple paintings with their logo on it. There are probably 7 different logos of theirs in my room. I'm not obsessive. I have no idea what you're talking about. Back to the video.
Did he put the CD on right there and then? Which I let him do.
He did.
I'll play track 15 first, said my friend. How did he know that track, Just a Dream, was my favorite? I told him all my favorites last August, but this title wasn't amongst them, as it was a new release. My buddy's grin.
This is true. I had given him all of the tracks. He had asked for my top 25, and I was at the beach when this happened. That's why I remember the story. He asked for my top 25 favorite Approaching Nirvana songs. Well, their discography is about 200 songs. And so, for me to choose 25 out of 200 was very difficult, and I remember spending 2 hours doing it. As it turned out, only 15 would fit on the CD, but whatever the case may be, I was confused that he flipped straight to track 15, which was my favorite song from the new album that had dropped literally 3 days prior to this gift being given to me. So there was no way he could have known in August that this song would have made my top 15 because this song hadn't yet been released. By the way, Just a Dream, highly suggest going to Approaching Nirvana's channel and listening to that song. Gorgeous. Actually, I highly suggest going to Approaching Nirvana's channel and listening to all their music because, honestly, they're amazing. I'll leave a list at the end of the video of some of my personal favorite tracks so that you guys can listen to those. Back to the story.
Grew wider and wider as I listened to the song. About 4 seconds into the song, the music stopped. Suddenly, I was listening to a voice. It was the voice of the band's lead artist. And he was talking to me.
It was.
Hi, Kelsey. It's Andrew from Approaching Nirvana. I wanted to let you know that you are strong and you can handle anything that life gives you. Thank you so much for your support. I know you're a big fan, and we really appreciate it. It means the world to us. I hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays, and we'll see you in 2016.
So that was the gift, and it touched me so much. Going back to the story about me attempting to take my own life, I had put the track from this CD onto my cell phone almost as soon as I got it. Actually, after I got home from work that day, and basically what happened was during that attempt, this recording came on and made me realize what I was doing, that I was strong enough to handle the situation, and really helped me turn my life around for the better. And so, honestly, if it were not for Andrew Sinclair, the lead artist of Approaching Nirvana, I am not, and for my friend, if it were not for the two of them, I'm not sure that I would be sitting here right now to record this video for you. So, it does mean a lot.
I was in stunned silence. Those 20 seconds of audio felt so surreal to me, and still do. But I didn't dare to believe that it was real, in case the whole situation was just a dream. I turned to face my friend, who was beaming like Father Christmas, which at that moment, he was to me. He had contacted the band, and they'd made this special recording just for me. I grabbed my buddy in the tightest bear hug he'd ever had, and I was so happy I could have burst with joy.
Alright, so one thing, I scrolled through the comments of this video, and one thing that I keep seeing is that people are just like, you're friend zoning him, I wish you guys would get together, that kind of thing. Okay, let me explain something to y'all. We tried to date a few years ago. It did not work out. We realized that we saw each other more as real close friends, like almost sibling level, than we did as like romantic partners, and so there was no foul play or anything. We just decided we were better as friends and cut it off. So that being said, no, I didn't friend zone him. No, he didn't dump me or anything like that. We're just good friends, honestly. And he is a great friend. I've known him since, oh good lord, God, I was 7 or 8. We started going to the same church when we were kids, and we've been really good friends ever since then. We've been on tons of youth retreats together. I mean, he's been there for me, I've been there for him. And so, I mean, for him to do this for me was just absolutely astounding. And the reason he did it, by the way, is because a few years prior, I had gotten him into Approaching Nirvana's music. And he knew that I was a mega fan of theirs, and so he wanted to somehow reach out to the lead artist of Approaching Nirvana and get this recording made for me. To this day, I am still absolutely dumbfounded at how he found the contact information and how he figured out how to get in touch with the lead artist and get this made for me. And I'm still dumbfounded that the lead artist, Andrew, of Approaching Nirvana, actually took time out of his day to make this recording and overlay it on top of the song. So that absolutely just is amazing to me. Back to the story, which is almost over.
Now, 3 years later, I still draw strength from my friend's
almost.
very special gift. One that I will cherish for the rest of my life. It's helped me through some of my darkest days, and is truly the gift that has kept on giving.
It really is. I'll let the credits roll real fast. Get everyone's credits on screen. Alright. But in all due seriousness, it is the gift that kept on giving, because like I said, it was given to me on Christmas of 2015. I lost my father in 2016 and made an attempt on my life in 2017. I've been struggling with physical illness for a very long time, and it hasn't relented. It got really bad in 2018. And like I said, this track is on my phone. And so whenever I really need to pick me up, whenever I really need someone to remind me that I am strong, someone to tell me that I can get through these kinds of things, I will pull that recording up and listen to it. And a funny story, after this recording was given to me, I could not listen to the song Just a Dream for months without crying. And even to this day, nearly 4 years later, I still cannot listen to the recording, like the actual voice recording that Andrew sent me, twice in a row without sobbing. Like, it actually gets me that much. That being said, that's my story, and I hope you guys liked it, and thanks a million to MinuteVideos for animating it. I absolutely love it. My friend Brian, as you can see his name on screen, great friend. I highly suggest finding a friend like Brian, because he really has been there for me in the past, and so honestly, if it weren't for him finding a way to reach out to Approaching Nirvana and getting the lead artist of Approaching Nirvana to make that recording, I might not be here making this recording. So, whatever the case may be, I am thankful to MinuteVideos, I'm thankful to my friend Brian, and I'm thankful to Approaching Nirvana. So, I highly suggest giving Approaching Nirvana a listen. I highly suggest watching some of MinuteVideos' other videos. So, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will put up a list of my favorite songs by Approaching Nirvana now. Peace out.